A.C.E.S Junkyard Podcast, repairing, refitting, and salvaging mechs since 3015.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Armored Combat Escalation Service Junkyard Podcast, episode 32, our holiday special. I know we said we were probably not going to have another episode, but we decided that we were going to do one anyways. Today is December 21st, 2015. I'm your host, Brandon, also known as Cattra, Kell, and with me today is Tierkron and Dazer. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. All right.
So yeah, there's not probably a whole lot that we're going to talk about today, but we figured that we'd do an episode to talk about a few things that are going on right now, mainly to talk about the two clan, the Hunchback, Lake 2C, Highlander, Jenner, all that fun stuff, Orion 2C, and how you guys are feeling about those. So let's begin with the Jenner 2C. Might as well hop right into this. So Jenner 2C, have you guys played it, and what are your guys' thoughts?
I've played it. I'm not completely sold on it. I like it. I think it would have done better prior to the Arctic Cheetah coming out. It's good, but you definitely have to change some things out on it. You need to decrease the size of that XL engine, a lesser rating, just so that you can armor the thing up, because it is so squishy in its stock forms. It's got very little armor here and there. In stock, one alpha strike from a street crow just can put you down. The other thing, even with full armor, I'm finding with them that their legs are incredibly vulnerable, so you have to keep on the move at all times with it. You stop or even slow down to fire, and you're probably going to lose a lot of leg armor. People seem to have picked up on the fact that, like the original Jenner, the Jenner 2C has pretty vulnerable legs, but I think the Jenner 2C's legs are even more vulnerable. One, because none of the 2C mechs get quirks, and two, the 2C mech is a bird-like leg, whereas the original Jenner is a straight leg, so the Jenner 2C's leg is a little bit bigger, and that makes it a larger target overall. So, but overall, the 2C, it's okay. You can definitely run some good builds on it. The 2CA, the early adopter variant with the 3 energy hard points in each arm, other than changing the engine out for a slightly smaller one, I've been keeping the 6 small pulse, and that does great. I've been running one variant on the 2C that has like 6 SRM4s on it, so it's basically a mini Splat Cat, like back during closed beta, when we would run around in the catapults at ridiculous speeds with XL engines and just be firing off as many SRMs as we could. The 2C Prime can do that, and it's very effective. It's almost better than what the Hugin was when the Hugin had those amazing SRM4 quirks. The other two, I'm having a little trouble finding builds I really like on them. So, but overall, the Jenner 2C I think is good. It's not great, but it's good, and it'll earn a position in people's drop decks if they don't have an Arctic Cheetah, or if they're tired of playing as Arctic Cheetahs.
I guess the big question comes down to, do you think it basically replaces the Innersphere Jenner, or does the Innersphere Jenner still have a place on the battlefield?
I don't think it replaces it. The Innersphere Jenner may not be able to run as fast as the 2C can, and it may not be as tanky because it has to run an Innersphere XL rather than a Clan XL. But in terms of overall damage, the original Jenner can do almost as much damage. I think it's a little bit more forgiving in terms of hitting of getting hit than the 2C is, especially those legs. The problem with the forward jutting center torso and cockpit is inherent in both of them, so they both have the issue where if you stick out a little bit too far or get hit from the side, it's you can CT these things pretty quickly if you're spot on with your shots. I've also been seeing them getting headshot uh, occasionally, more so than any other light, really. But that's just a quirk of the Jenners. It's you know it's par for the course for them, so I don't think it really replaces the original Jenner.
Because I think that was what most people's biggest fear was that the 2C mechs were going to come out and just replace their inner sphere counterparts. And I'm going to agree with you. I don't think the 2C Jenner completely invalidates or replaces the normal Jenner. I think there are things that make the 2C Jenner better, but I still think that the top tier variant of the Jenner, the inner sphere one, competes just as well with some of the top builds of the Jenner 2C. But I am going to agree with you that the clan engines does make the 2C a little bit more appealing, especially if you're probably going to play competitive, mainly where you can lose that side torso and not have to worry about dying.
Yeah. The other thing I've been seeing from the 2C, which puts it a bit ahead of the original Jenner, is, as I said, you can run that Splat Cat build, or you can run an anti-light build or a light hunter build where you switch out the regular SRMs instead for streak SRMs. And I've seen a couple people running 4 or 5 streak 4s, and they can put a real hurt on other light mechs. The Jenner 2C is quick enough to catch most light mechs, and in that configuration can really do a lot of damage to those other light mechs before they have a chance to turn and put a hurt on the 2C. So it's versatile. It's you know pretty effective. The only thing is, it's still a Jenner in all but name, so the armor on it isn't the greatest. Its hitboxes are, what they are. You've got that jutting center torso. You know, it's not going to replace the Arctic Cheetah for the most part, but it can compete against almost every other light mech out there pretty well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here in Smurfy. If you, okay, with no engine and with max armor, assuming that you keep the legs at 30 and your head at 14 at 18, so everything else is maxed, you're working with 27 tons with Pharaoh Endo and all that sort of fun stuff. So yeah, you could cram a little bit into the 2C, but I still think that the engine's the biggest problem, because even if you grab a 315, Clan 315, you're only working with 9 tons, I say, with air quotes. You can still fit pretty good stuff in there. But.
Yeah, I've seen most people with builds taking it down to the 265 or in thereabouts. I mean, I don't think I've seen a build yet that drops below 250, but a slightly smaller XL still gets you a lot of speed. And the 315, which is the largest engine you can fit in it, and which comes stock, pushes it once you work it out to 145.8, which I believe is the fastest of any light mech currently. The Wolfhound used to be the fastest, and now the Jenner 2C, I think, has surpassed it. I might be off. They might be the same speed, but I think
they're the same. I'm pretty sure the Wolfhound, one of them can drop a 315 in there. Yeah, again.
So yeah, but if even doing that, the Wolfhound, I because it's going to have to use an inner sphere XL, is not going to be as good necessarily as the 2C, because 2C Jenner can lose that side torso and still keep going. The Wolfhound with its XL, once you lose a side torso, that's it. So it's good, but it as I said, it's not going to replace the Arctic Cheetah for most people.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people for the 2C, their main go-to build is just 4 medium pulse lasers, which is, I believe, on par, or if not a little, or just as strong as the, what is it, either 6 medium lasers for the Jenner?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the one, if you did the early adopter. If you didn't do early adopter, you only got the 3, so you're going to have to wait for that 4th variant to come out, during the regular time period. And that's the one that's got the 6 energy points. All the others
Yeah.
have just 2 or none.
So let's talk about those hunchbacks. Probably one of the things I've been having the most fun in.
Hunchbacks. Woo.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of hunchies running around. I've heard mixed results from them, and I'll say this: my results with them have been mixed. I've had really good matches with them, and I've had really poor matches with them. So
Well, I think it all comes down to the fact that the Hunchback 2C, depending on how you build it, is more or less a glass cannon.
yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
You can give it armor, and you can give it the jump jets, and you can do all the fun stuff with it. But the only problem is that at the end of the day, you come down to having to make a choice over weaponry or the fact you get armor and jump jets.
yeah. I've been seeing very few veteran players running around in the 2 Ultra 20 build, stock build, or a variation of that. Um, One person who I saw, still was sporting an Ultra 20, only was running 1 Ultra 20, and they had put the rest into armor and upgrading and just keeping the ER mediums in the chest. Most of the other people I'm seeing are sticking with a 2 UAC 10 build.
I was going to say the 2
Instead.
UAC 10 medium pulse. No?
Yeah. Well, I've been seeing 2 UAC 10, 2 ER meads, or 2 UAC 10, 2 small ER smalls. That seems to be very popular. Beyond that, I've been seeing actually a lot more of the Hunchback 2CA, which is the all energy one.
With the 8 medium lasers?
I've seen 8 medium lasers, and I've seen 6 medium pulse lasers. I've The 8 medium seems to be the more popular of the two, but the 6 medium pulse, I have seen it on several occasions. It can put out a lot of damage and rather unexpectedly, so it's something you cannot turn your back on. The Hunchback 2CB, which is the missile variant, I've been seeing a lot of that as well, both as a light hunter and as just an overall brawling damage dealer. So it seems to be good. I've not had very good luck in the 2CB so far, but I'm playing around a bit more to experiment with builds. The one variant I've actually seen very little of is the dual ballistic, where someone pulls everything out and just slaps 2 Gauss rifles in it. I've only seen that a handful of times, and the person either does really well with it or does incredibly poorly. So I'm not sure if it's due to player skill or the overall build yet. It could have just been bad luck most of the time, because the people that seem to do poorly on it they got either caught by a light pack or they pushed up in support of their heavies and just could not, take damage, well enough when they got focused. So it's overall, I think, a good mech, but I'm not necessarily trading in my Inner Sphere Hunchback for it. I'd still stick with my regular Hunchy over this, except for when in the cases where I can throw the Clan XL engine in there. That's really what puts the 2Cs again over their Inner Sphere counterparts.
I know personally I've been having fun, and I've also seen a couple builds. I mean, yes, the Hunchback 2C can be good if you're not running it like a glass cannon. I'm going to say that now. But it's not fun. That's well, I guess it could be fun for some people. I shouldn't be that way, but throwing either two Gauss rifles into those high missile ports and then using the jump jets to snipe, that's fun. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that thing's almost, and if you play smartly with that two Gauss build, you can probably, do, as I said, you're either going to do very well or very poorly depending on what situation you end up facing. It definitely can jump snipe. I've seen a number of people. One match on HPG, someone got, took it up on top of out of that ring and, just found some cover, popped up just enough to get those Gauss rifles clear, and were just letting rip with them, and they did really well that match. Other times I saw one on Forest Colony. He didn't do very well. He was trying to peak snipe, and he got swarmed by lights, and he just did not have anything that he could hit those lights with other than the Gauss, and he just could not charge them up fast enough and fire them fast enough to deal with the lights that were rushing him. So it's, yeah, as you said, it's a glass cannon if you take certain builds. Other builds you can try to do, a bit more balanced. The 2CA with the 8 medium lasers or the 6 medium pulse. It's not as fun as the 2 UAC-20s or the 2 Gauss rifles, but you're definitely going to survive longer in it because it does have much better armor and it can still put out a ton of damage. So it's it's going to depend on your play style, which one you prefer. But overall, Hunchback 2Cs, once again, good mech. I don't think people are going to trade in their Stormcrows for it, but it's it's definitely going to be there for some people.
And of course, we got the Orion 2C next as the heavy mech in the pack.
Yeah.
It's actually all right, I guess. It performs better, in my opinion, than the Inner Sphere Orion.
Yes.
And that's because you can throw an XL engine into it and not have to worry.
Yeah. The only problem I've been having with the Orions are I think the hitboxes on it are a little off because I've taken fire into my right torso and seen my left torso flash, and the person has they pinpointed it. They did not sweep that laser blast across the torsos. I didn't torso twist to spread the damage because I was currently already twisted away from someone else that was doing far more damage. I'm not certain if that was, if it's a hitbox issue because I've only seen it that one time, but I've seen a couple people lose torsos quickly on it, just like the Inner Sphere version, but because you're running a Clan XL, it doesn't matter as much. But I do think, there might need to be some in-depth analysis on it to see if the hitboxes are a little bit messed up, or if damage is registering in areas where where it shouldn't be. But overall, I've actually been enjoying them. They can do a very interesting set of loadouts.
I'd say my favorite loadout for the Orion 2C is I saw this originally. Well, I saw it potentially, but then G-Man just confirmed my bias towards this one build, which is the two Gauss rifles, and instead of a PPC like he runs, I run a large pulse laser.
Yeah.
With a standard 300, and it's absolutely hilarious. It is great, wonderful.
Yeah, I like doing actually the one brawler build, which is an UAC 20 with 3 streak 4s and 3 medium lasers. I think that's a lot of fun. It puts the hurt on someone really nicely. I've also seen one of our guys, Slambot, running one that's 4 ER larges, a LB 20, and I think two SRM 6s. But don't quote me on that. I might be off on 1 or 2 of those weapons. But I know he's got the 4 ER large in there. And he was having okay results with it. He was fighting his heat curve a little bit because of those 4 larges. But if he could catch someone from behind, he could take off a lot of armor very, very quickly. So I definitely think the 2C Orion outperforms its inner sphere counterpart far more than the Hunchback or the Jenner do. It's just overall so much better. It's not just the Clan XL. It feels far tankier than the inner sphere Orion does.
And of course, the big bad Highlander 2C. How can we forget? Mainly because it's somewhat forgettable.
Yeah, it's all right. Once again, my biggest complaint is PGI. What do you have against Highlanders? Why will you not allow them to jump? I'm not even kidding.
I actually completely stripped the jump jets out of my Highlander. There's no point in having them.
Yeah. I mean,
I know it's an assault for a little bit more ammo or a little bit more guns.
I know it's an assault mech, but the Highlanders are known for being jump capable. I mean, for God's sakes, they have a special death from above move that was nicknamed the Highlander Burial. Because
that got retconned, thank you.
No, it didn't.
In my head canon.
And so, we know it can jump. We know it can jump well over most mechs and drop straight down on top of them. But in this game, the way that, the Highlanders can jump, it can barely clear small obstacles. So I really think, if they get the jump jet quirk in place, the Highlander definitely needs the jump jet quirk, and they need it, a lot. So, but overall, I'm enjoying them. You definitely have to switch the engine out and up the rating because the thing is so slow. The 270s that it comes stock with, I mean, it's pushing you to 48.6, and that's, I think that's even with quirks that it's 48.6. So it's slower than the Direwolf, and that's bad. That you should be avoiding that type of speed, no matter the cost, because Direwolves that go, slow often find themselves, under attack from light packs. So the Highlander, same thing there. If it's going slow, it's going to suffer. But overall, in terms of loadouts for it, I've seen a number of different ones. I've seen a couple LRM boat builds. I've seen a couple brawler builds. I have yet to see any build on it that that has really left me scratching my head of going, okay, I don't understand what this person was going for. Nearly every build I've seen, I can understand the purpose of it. And for the most part, the Highlander, can do pretty much everything somewhat well. It can be an LRM boat. It can be a long range sniper. It can be an upfront brawler. It's pretty good. It's just the speed on it is the biggest hindrance on it, and of course the lack of jump capability, because even with 3 jump jets, it can't jump worth a damn. So I don't know what I know PGI doesn't want a return of the good old jump sniping days, but uh, they need to re-energize jump jets. They need to,
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of like quirk or something, perhaps.
because it's sad, that mechs that should be able to jump, really can't. Even the Executioner, unless you're running at top speed with mask enabled, you're not getting a good jump most of the time. The Victor is a little bit better, but not by much. So I really think PGI needs to go back and do something with these mechs in terms of their jump capability.
I'll agree. I still think jump jets are a big issue. At least, okay, I think with the lighter mechs, the mediums, and the heavies, jump jets are fine.
Yeah.
But I will agree that assaults in particular have issues with the jump jets. Or I should say, class 1 jump jets in
Class
particular.
1 jump jets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I will
Class 1
agree
jump
with you
jets
there.
are really poor. The Victor uses Class 2s, and they're all right. I do feel the Victor needs a little bit of something there just to be up better, because the mech itself, it's supposed to be kind of a cavalry mech, able to jump in quickly and jump out quickly, and you really can't do that with it. But yeah, the Class 1 jump jets and the heavier assault mechs, the Highlander 2C, the Executioner, if you're going to do a jump jet quirk, they need it, and they need it badly. The light mech jumps are perfect. I wouldn't change them at all. Medium jump, medium mechs with their jump jets are good. The few heavies that have jump jets are pretty decent. I might amend that to say the Grasshopper could use a little bit, but overall, yeah, it's mainly the mechs that sport the Class 1 jump jets.
And of course, something that didn't happen, well, recent-ish, was the Archer package was announced.
We talked about the speculation of this last podcast.
Yes.
And of course, they released it, details of it.
Wasn't it like the day
right
after, like always?
No, it was that night.
Was it that night? Of course.
Yeah, because the time that we record this, for people who aren't aware, we're recording on Cattra's on Atlantic time because he's in Canada, and I'm on Eastern time because I'm on the East Coast of the US. So PGI, because they're on the West Coast and at Pacific time, are like 3 to 4 hours behind us. So when we're recording this, PGI is like, it's either 4 o'clock or 4:30 for them. So they're just finishing up their day, and that's often when they put up, little news tidbits. So it always seems to be the case that, we'll say something, and either we'll see it right after we record, or we'll see it the next day. And in this case, once again, we had talked about the Archer, and that we knew that, that the Archer pack was coming because the art had been circulated. We were speculating on what would be in the Archer pack, and we were right and wrong on it. The Wolf's Dragoon variant is in there, but the Hero one is not the Jamie Wolf one, which I thought it would be. It's a Morgan Kell one, which it's interesting because it's packing a Guardian ECM suite, and it will only be the second Inner Sphere Heavy to bring a ECM suite.
which
So
is nice.
yeah,
Though again, I'm not sure how. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on that ECM yet, because I haven't seen anyone make a big hoorah rah over it.
I think it's kind of fallen to the wayside because most people, when they think of heavy mechs and they think of ECM, they're thinking of the Hellbringer, and it makes sense for it because the Hellbringer, most people are using it as a brawler, so the ECM is being used to cover mechs that it's next to and to cover it, while it closes. The Archer's ECM though is going to actually be a big thing because one, you can either stand off at range and bombard the hell out of people with it, or you can get close and try to brawl it out. I don't think the Tempest, which is the name of the hero Archer, is going to do as well as a brawler, mainly because it only has 3 missile points and only 6 energy points. Uh, and the one thing about it is, if you want to use the third missile hardpoint, it's in the center torso, so you're not going to be able to use the 2 energy points that are there. You're going to have to rely on the 2 energy points in each arm. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be a great SRM bomber like the Splat Cat or like a couple of the other Archer variants are going to be. But it could turn into a semi decent hybrid missile and laser brawler. But I think a lot of play is it's going to be the go-to long range heavy missile boat or missile launcher. Even though it's only sporting 3, you can put in, keep the 2 LRM-20s or downgrade them to LRM-15s and throw Artemis on them. There'll be some interesting builds from that. But
I'll
overall,
agree. I'll agree. Overall, though, I think I'm not sure how the Archer's going to fit entirely, because for everything I'm seeing there is a lot of missile hard points. And
yeah,
though I have seen a lot of LRM boats lately, they tend not to perform well unless you're in a large group. I'm just going to say that now. So I don't know how the Archer's going to play as far as pug queue. In group queue, you'll probably see it still as a Lerm boat or something like that, or even as a street boat or something like that. But that being said, I potentially don't see it, especially with an engine of only 280 as your, like, well, no, that's not the max engine, sorry, 340, so that's not too bad. But even so, I don't see it being something that carries a lot of SRMs.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like a brawling mech to me.
Yeah, the one version of it, the variant that could be a nasty SRM bomber is the 5W. Because that
Well, but
thing
that's because
has,
it's pure missile hardpoints, right? So
yeah, it's got 9 missile hardpoints. So that thing's going to be all missiles all the time. The stock variant of it is 2 LRM-20s, a NARC, and 2 SRM-4s. I can easily see people dropping that NARC and dropping those 20s for more SRMs, and that thing basically being the new version of the Splat Cat. The 5S, that's got 3 missile hard points. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's got 5 missile hard points. So I could see that also doing that, but it's also got energy. So it's the 5S probably is going to be the one that you see the most of, at least in terms of builds that can be both heavy SRMs with some backup energy, or some SRMs with a lot of energy because it keeps the 4 energy hard points. So It'll overall it will be interesting to see how people kit out the archer. I don't I don't know if people will sacrifice the LRM boat stalkers for it, but I do think it could easily replace the catapults.
Oh, you'll replace the catapult hands down. The catapult right now is a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it is a. I want to say basically like a meme. It's a joke.
Yeah. The cat is just the catapult's just so big and boxy with those two launchers, and the side torsos are so vulnerable on it that you have to run an XL on them in order to carry the arsenal that you need to bring in most higher tier matches. But it's it's just so vulnerable to losing weapons and losing a side torso that it's not worth bringing most times, and that's why you won't see them when you get past a certain tier. Uh, Even in community warfare, you don't see them all that much. Most teams that do bother bringing LRMs into community warfare are bringing the Stalker LRM boats.
I was going to say the Stalker Learn boat is superior in almost every way.
I have seen a couple teams instead of the Stalker bringing the awesome Learn boat variant, and I've seen for a lighter Learn boat them still sticking with the Hunchback Learn boat. But yeah, the catapult in upper tier play and in community warfare is pretty much vacant. The only time I see catapults really beyond that are the K2s and the Jesters. And the Jester I'm seeing mainly because people don't want to be running, too many Thunderbolts and they want some variation. And the K2, people like running it with the dual Gauss or the dual AC-20. Mostly the dual Gauss I've seen, though. But yeah, Archer, I think it'll do well. It'll be interesting, the builds that we see on it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before we see it. It doesn't even if you pre-order, it doesn't come out till March 15th, so it is.
I was gonna say it's a couple months away.
Yeah, it's quite a ways away, but it's good to see.
Though.
It's good to see it, coming. With the Marauder, then the Warhammer, then the Rifleman, now the Archer. This is basically the heavy lance of classic BattleTech. It's just great seeing these mechs make their comeback to a Mech Warrior BattleTech video game once again.
So I guess this comes up to another question about packages and how PGI does its sales and that sort of stuff. I wonder if they're going to continue this trend of selling one mech and all variants and a hero mech and that sort of thing, like they've been doing for the Archer, Rifleman, Warhammer, Marauder, or if we're going to see a Resistance 3.
I don't know. I could see them do a giant pack at some point once these are all released. But from what Russ has said in some of his Twitter posts, and in the one interview he had on a podcast or a town hall after the Marauder had debuted, it sounded like he was saying that they're done really with large packs, that they're going to stick to this style of one mech at a time with the variant with like 4 variants in the pack if you order early. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say if you order early, if you 4 if you get in there and you click also for the hero add-on.
Yeah. And what do you think? Do you have any guess on what the next mech is going to be?
I don't know. We've got the 4 classic, heavies. So it kind of is hard to say what could be next. In terms of what, of the unseen, are still out there, we have the Longbow, which is an assault. We have the Marauder 2, which is an assault. We have the Crusader, which is a heavy. We have the Phoenix Hawk, which is a medium. We have the Wasp and the Stinger, which are both lights. We have the Valkyrie, which is a light. And there are a couple others, but I don't think we'll see them anytime soon, or if we do, they'll be, you know, they're the Raijin, the Grand Crusader, and can't remember the Nexus, I think it is. Yes. Yeah, because those three are Comstar mechs. So it's hard to say. I don't think we'll see the Grand Crusader, the Raijin, or the Nexus anytime soon. I I'm not sure about the Marauder 2. The Longbow is a possibility, but I think they'll either go with the Crusader next or possibly the Phoenix Hawk. And if not one of those two, it's definitely going to be the lights, probably the Wasp.
I want to go on a completely different tangent. I would say Bushwhacker.
Yeah. Well, I was saying of the unseen that we have here. If we're going outside of them, yeah, the Bushwhacker has been floated around for a long time. Considering we got the Mauler, which and the Wolfhound, which were both floated around for the longest time, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the Bushwhacker soon, or if it comes up in one of these monthly releases. We'll have to see when January rolls around, because that seems to be what PGI is doing. They're releasing, these packs one every month, which kind of harkens back to what they did when the game was first coming out in closed beta. We got, a new mech every month, it seemed. And if we didn't get a brand new mech and, its variants, then we usually got a hero mech instead. And this, we're getting both the variants and the hero. So, yeah, I've seen nothing so far and heard nothing so far that would suggest they're not going to continue this trend of a mech pack a month.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think they're going to continue doing the single mech release. It seems to be, one, received better by people.
Yeah.
And two, it's probably easier. And you can fire them out quicker. Like you said, you can get it done in the month.
Yeah,
so there's no more of that half a year waiting.
It's also better because, the large packs, while nice and probably give you a little bit better bang for your buck, you have to wait longer on developing, on the development cycle for them. Mainly because, you've got to make sure all of your art is ready and all of your in-game models are ready, to go with those packs. And so a large pack is a lot of work. Smaller packs, not as much work. You can put them out faster. You can gauge reaction better. And from a profit standpoint for PGI, it probably works out better for them. Because, someone can easily justify, I'm putting down $30 or $40 or what have you for this new mech pack. When you've got a giant pack where the smallest, buy-in is, say $80 or, $60, it's a little bit harder to for a person to justify. These packs, I think, the smaller pack lends itself more to impulse buying. So, yeah, I think we'll see this trend of mech packs continuing, and we probably won't see the return of a large mech pack anytime soon. Also makes sense considering the Steam launch that, it's easier to market packs through Steam that
I was
way.
gonna say that's probably the other big thing as well. The fact that you can do smaller packs on Steam, almost like how War Thunder does them.
Yeah, though, to be fair, the only packs we've seen put up on Steam so far are the performance packs. So
Which are,
yeah, they're not meant for players that are veteran players or players that are not necessarily veterans but are going to be invested in the game. The performance packs on Steam are basically meant for new players that are just picking up the game for the first time and want to get something besides the trial mechs that they can run around in and have fun in and not worry about being at a disadvantage. So they're good for what they are, but yeah, they're not meant for you, me, and the top tier players and veteran players of this game. But overall, can't complain about them. They're decent for what for the money to that players would spend on them. They're a worthwhile investment if you have no mechs and are just starting out in the game.
Oh no, the only thing I don't like about the performance packs, and the only thing I would change is I would make it, instead of getting 2 variants, 1 variant, but you get, like people were saying, 3 of mechs.
So basically, you have the mastery packs.
Yeah. Oh, why don't they just sell the mastery packs?
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
I could actually see that being the next set of packs that go up and get put on Steam. I mean, we know the mastery packs are available through the in-game store. I can easily see them getting put up on Steam at some point and being sold that way. But again, that's going to be up to PGI because PGI's market, the way they sell things at times doesn't make sense because they'll either be only available through the gift store or only available through the in-game store. And they've only recently started to bring the two together. So with Steam now as the third thing, hopefully they'll come up with a unifying store at some point, or just offering everything through each store, so it just simplifies how people can make purchases if they want to. But anywho, right now though, speaking of new players, for any of you people who are listening who are new players or have been playing, who have been in the game but haven't been putting a lot of time and effort in, and you don't really want to spend a lot of money, there are events going on by PGI that will net you very good rewards that you can use to buy more mechs, buy more mech bays, buy camo, things like that. This past weekend, we've had the holiday leaderboard event, which had a set of goals that if you've been playing and didn't realize this event was going on, if you qualified for a certain tier and got the reward, you would come back from your match or log in and you got this little notification of redeeming items, and it would tell you what it is. It's because of that event. But you're in luck because coming up starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern, it will be the holiday stocking stuffer event for 2015, which, if you're new and you don't know what a stocking stuffer event is, it's basically a giant grab bag giveaway event. For every match that you score at least 100 in for community warfare, or as they're calling it now, faction play, you get an event point. For every match score of 150 in quick play, or what we call the regular queue, where you play in skirmish, assault, or conquest, you get 1 point. And for every point that you get one opportunity to redeem a loot bag. And in those loot bags can be things like MC, C-bills, GXP, consumables, cockpit items, And of course, there is a grand prize, which is a free mech, which is a Centurion AH, which is a pretty decent mech and comes with its own mech bay. Of course, there's also some coal items, which are the joke items, and it seems this year it's going to be the flamer and small lasers to keep you warm while you continue to, try to earn chances. So you can get, a lot of stuff here if you put some time in. And you might be saying, "Oh, but I've got the holidays away, and I'm going away for the holidays. I'm not going to be around." No fret. You've got from December 22nd to January 4th. So you've got 2 full weeks to get some qualifying matches in. And I'm looking.
It's not hard to earn the points either. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy.
And I don't see if there is a limit on how much you can get per match, because
I believe it is 75 in quick play and 15 faction for a total of 125. But if you pre-order the archer, you get 25 as well.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that now. All right, so yeah, if you've already ordered your archer pack or thinking of ordering your archer pack, that's going to get you 25 more redemptions. Now, to clarify for the redemptions, these do not automatically happen. You have to, once you get a qualifying match, you have to log in on the MWO website into your profile, go to the tournaments page, and scroll down to where the prizes will be listed. They'll also tell you, about if the match qualified or if it didn't qualify, how close you were to either one, and there will be a button next to each qualifying match that you click on that will reveal what prize you get. So you have to remember to go back and do that, because I've heard people tell me they forgot that this was going on and they missed out on some of their prizes when past events like this have happened. Luckily, PGI does give you some wiggle room. So after the 4th, you have until the 8th of January to redeem all of your prizes. So if you get to the 4th, or I should say, if you get to the 5th and you think you have qualifying matches, go to the MWO site, log into your account, go to the Stocking Stuffer event tournament page, scroll down, click on those buttons. They will tell you what you get, and the next time you load up MWO, you'll get that redeeming items screen, and it will list all the items you've redeemed, and so those will be all of your prizes. So there's a chance to earn a lot of fun stuff here, and it's all free. You just have to put some time in and play some matches. So it's worth it.
The grab bag events have always been good, except for that one time.
Yeah, yeah. That one was kind of a letdown, but luckily PGI has not done that again, and they've taken note and have returned to the original style of grab bag that they did. Though I should clarify, the original one did not have limits on how many qualifying matches you could get. So they ended up giving a lot of stuff away.
I don't think they expected that many people to grind for the free stuff there. I know some people came away with just like a ton of MC.
Yeah, but you can earn a lot of good stuff in this. So if you are short on MC, you're short on C-bills, you want stuff, but you don't want to spend money on it, events like this and the weekend events are good things to participate in. You can get yourself that MC, you can get yourself those free mech bays, get those C-bills so you can buy more mechs, and get those C-bills so you can customize what mechs you do have.
Yeah, I recently went broke outfitting the 2C mechs. I've dropped probably, if I had to estimate, like 70 million C-bills into the new 2C mechs.
Yeah.
Because unlike before, you have to buy engines now for them. And it's just like
it's just like the regular Intersphere mechs. You have to
Yeah,
buy.
it's just like, here, you want to play this Jenner? You want to play this Highlander? Here's a $5 to $7 million engine you have to buy.
Yeah.
Now you got to do it 3 times.
Yeah, those engines they kill you. They are huge C-bill sinks. But yeah, so events, the holiday stocking stuffer event. I encourage people to get on and play. Even if you're not all that interested in the rewards, it's a fun event to participate in.
And I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
That's all we really wanted to just hop on and talk about a few things going on right now, and I guess start preparing for the holidays.
Yeah.
And again, we probably won't be having another podcast until, I'd say, probably the new year. I can't really say anything, because PGI would probably start sending people out on holidays, which is usually about a week.
Yeah. So it's we probably won't be back for another podcast until, I would say at least the second week of January at the earliest, but it might not even be that early considering PGI's schedule. When they do considering what they did for the holiday last year, I don't think they got back until the third week of January.
Yeah, and I mean, not everyone's going to leave. Not everyone can, of course, leave at the same time, because there's still stuff like patches and whatnot they got to do, or not patches, sorry, but like keep the servers up and make sure everything's going all right. So,
yep. So
not everyone can be like me and like schedule myself like 6 days off in a row for the holidays.
So, we'll hopefully see you guys on the battlefields this holiday season, and we will hopefully catch you guys for the next podcast next year.
Yes, the magical 2016. Or I think, sorry, 3016. Yeah.
You're just going to confuse people at this point, Cattra.
Yeah. I want to believe.
Well, if it's going to be 3016, then we have to say goodbye to EndoSteel and Faro and XL engines and ERs and double heat sinks and clans and...
Yeah, but is that really that bad? I mean, come on. All right, so from behalf of myself, Tierkron, and Dazer, who had to step away, unfortunately, and of course the rest of the Armored Combat Escalation Service, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Be safe, have fun, blow up lots of mechs, and until next time in the next year, Mech Warriors.